All right, Mr. Bass, let's shower some love on NVS because they're going to be at the Boardroom show. People want to come meet them.
I know Leif and Jamin are going to be there. NVS fins, Naked Vikings fins, and gosh, you and I were big fans, obviously, of all the fin designs. They've got different shapers. You can get custom fins from them. The C drives are the ones that you and I like. And a friend of mine just put the C drives in his twin pin for the first time, and I'd been telling him about them for a while, and he was like, "Oh man, you know what? I changed my fins and it changed my game." And the C drives, he's super psyched on them. And yeah, they might look a little funky, but man, the performance you get out of them, who cares?
Never going back again, as
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac once said. I also just noticed they've got, look, not that I want to get off those twins, but they've also just dropped Taylor Knox Wolverine twins. And the other Taylor Knox arc fins that I've had from them, both the tries and the twins, have been epic. So the Wolverines are the new option.
Wolverines, who knew? Let's check those out as well.
Well, you could check them out at the Boardroom show. So come by their booth. And then, of course, surfnvs.com is the website. All of those Apex series come with a lifetime guarantee, which is pretty epic. And then follow them on social media, Naked Viking or Naked Viking Surf, I believe is what it is.
Okay.
The other shout out is Real Water Sports, who's doing their Chicama trip. We spoke highly about our Chicama trip. Theirs is in March. They've got 2 weeks planned, kind of a resort takeover, same thing that we did, foiling and surf trip. They're bringing coaches to teach and to help elevate to the next level for the foiling. So the dates are March 7th to 14th for week one, and then March 15th to 22nd for week two. So if you want to get in on that, you can go to realwatersports.com and check out all the details there.
Yeah. Real Water Sports, the Chicama Trip. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of getting improving your surfing. So check out the Real Water Sports Chicama Trip. But by
In
the way,
addition,
Trip sent us this thing. Did you have that on your list?
yeah, I'm going to play it for you in the
Oh,
main
good.
show.
Oh,
When
okay,
we're
good.
when we're talking about the Boardroom show, I'll play it for you.
Okay. Then
So yeah, go to realwatersports.com, not only for that, but all of your water sport needs, incredible surfboard selection, and anything else you might need for any water sport.
As we see some movement at the takeoff zone, it's Kelly Slater grabbing right.
yeah, guy. David, welcome. It is Spit podcast. Excuse me. We talk all things surf. It's Wednesday, October 1st in the year 2025, and man, we're just 10 days or so out from the boardroom show. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Scott Bass. I want to get you to answer a question. I know you've answered this in the past, but somebody left a comment on YouTube from last week's show saying Scott has an epic poster behind him on the wall. Where can I find that?
Oh, oh yeah. There's talking about that poster right there. And that poster is actually going to be for sale at the boardroom show.
Hmm.
There's going to be one on display that you can see, and then I think the guy has a QR code or some way that you can order it. Um, my friend I believe he's from France, but yeah, so you'll be able to get those at the boardroom show. Those will be
What
on. It'll be on display. I should
who
probably know how exactly you can do it, but
I was
at
going to say,
least
presuming, let's just guess the person on YouTube isn't going to make it to the Boardroom show. Where do you know where they can get it or what the name of the company is?
Shapeology. If
Shapeology.
you go to
That's
Instagram, go to Shapeology. I think you can get it there. And I think that's what he has on the poster. It's just one, like there's not a bunch of them for sale. There's one display, and then you can link to it and go buy the poster. And it actually is a really cool poster. It's just basically a history of surfboard timeline and the history of our history of surf culture. So it's pretty cool.
looks like 120 or so different surfboards, each from chronological order of a different era.
Yeah, it goes, it's probably starts like ancient Polynesia and goes all the way to the most modern surfboard of the era. And what what's random? I was looking, I often study it just because it's kind of fun. One of the boards on that poster is actually hanging on my wall in my in my living room.
The actual
Yeah.
board or a similar
No,
style?
no, the actual board.
What board is it? How is this
It,
possible?
it's a Tom Parrish lightning bolt. Um, I don't know. He got a picture of it somehow, and and it's funny because it's the bottom of the board. And the board hangs so that you can see the deck in my living room. But yeah,
Well,
so
how did you end up with a board, or what's the relevance, or why is it hanging in your living room?
um, I I purchased the board, you know. Um,
Okay.
so it's just a cool, it's a really cool Parrish
Hmm.
lightning bolt. It's just a beautiful Tom Parrish lightning bolt. And I was like, oh man, gotta have a Parrish lightning bolt. It's really a
Yeah,
sick board.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Well, while we're on the subject of the boardroom show, should I play Trip's message so
Sure, let's hear.
listeners can find out how cool and reasons you should go to the boardroom?
Incredibly long waves, but main reason I'm calling is to give Scott and the boardroom a big shout out. I've been going to that show for several years now. The very first year I was invited by Pat Rawson to be one of the judges, the year that they were honoring him, and I got to work alongside Pat and Roger Hines. The two of them taught me an absolute ton, and also had the huge honor of having Dick Brewer join us for the final round of judging. So that was an incredible experience. But that's the kind of stuff that happens at Boardroom, whether you're a surfboard shop going there to look at new boards, or whether you are just a frothed out surfer that appreciates surfboards. That's the kind of stuff that happens, man. You get to rub elbows and meet a lot of these shapers and have some great conversations. Actually, you get to meet David and Scott as well, which I know a lot of people always look forward to. But this show is just an absolute work of passion that Scott puts together, and he works tirelessly for the whole year to put this thing together, and it really, really shows. It's a really, really cool event. I can't tell you how many people that I've got to meet and hang out with. The list just goes on, like Pat, Chris Christensen, Roger Hines, Tim Crozier does a ton of work behind the scenes, and a lot of the boards that we've actually put in the store, like in our shop in the Real Board Loft. Ryan Sakel, Alex Lopez, Jordan Brazy, Gary Linden, Adam Warden. Actually, I met Gary Linden at the show. He gave me a full rundown on the agave boards, which we now stock at Real. And, it wasn't a month later where I was driving down with Adam Warden and surfing Toto Santos with Adam Warden and Gary Linden, and stuff like that wouldn't have happened if I didn't go to the Boardroom show. So it's just an amazing place and an amazing show. And I could go on and on about the different shapers and the different stories. But if you've never been to one thing I would definitely recommend, go to our YouTube, the Real Water Sports YouTube, and check out the video about the first show we went to honoring Pat Rawson, because that's a great video that Jeffrey and O'Neill put together to kind of show you what the show's all about, the Icons of Foam Shaping contest, and how that works, and all the cool stuff going on it. But you definitely don't want to miss it. I'm missing it this year, but I do have an excused absence from Scott. There's only two reasons that you can miss it. One is going to Kandui, and the other one is having a baby. I'm not having a baby. I'm going to Kandui. So Scott wrote me a letter that I have an excused absence this year, but it's something that you definitely shouldn't miss. It's a really good time, no matter where you live in the country. Even if you're on the East Coast, like where I'm from, I would definitely recommend getting on a plane and just going there. Do some surfing in the morning, show midday, and there's tons of entertainment and really cool surf parties and great meals and stuff at dinner as well. So check it out, the Boardroom show coming up in not too long. Thanks, guys. We appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you, Trip Forman from Real Water Sports.
That was very nice of him. Thanks so much. And I will say that the board builders themselves, the exhibitors, they're the ones that do all the real hard work each and every day, all 365 days of the year, all 12 months of the year. And we do it to highlight the board building community, and that's the mission. We want to help them be prosperous. And so, yeah, thank you, Trip. That was really kind of him.
Absolutely. And I think the part that everybody always talks about and that I appreciate about it and that he touched on is just randomly running into people who are icons in the space, who aren't on the exhibitors list maybe or featured in any of the marketing, but just walking around there, it's a who's who of
Yeah, there'll be a few of
luminaries.
those. A few luminaries I already know. I won't mention them because, you know, The real luminary this time is Eric Arakawa, who we're honoring. So he gets all the attention and deservedly so.
But do you
Um,
know the one person he wants to meet while he's there?
oh,
Skip Fry.
oh, cool. That's
He,
great.
yeah, when I interviewed him, that came up in conversation. He's like, yeah, I would love. Well, first of all, he said he'd love to get a board from him. And I'm like, you got to be able to make that happen. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I heard it's pretty hard, but I would love to just meet him. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to screen record this portion of the conversation and send it to his various
Yeah.
intermediaries
Yeah.
or besties and
Yeah.
let them share with them. And then hopefully that can come together.
That would be so great. I know Bob McTavish, who was dear friends with Skip, met with I met with Skip last year, and I don't know Skip personally, but I'm sure that he would love to meet with Eric, and I'm sure it'll happen. So that's cool. I'm stoked
Well,
to hear that.
yeah, we'll make it happen for sure. Okay,
Some other
so
ins. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to make sure everybody knows October 11th and 12th, next weekend, basically.
Yeah, and there's a couple of quick updates. One is on Saturday, we've got um, two new boardroom talks which have come together. One of them is YouTubers Blair Conklin and Ben Gravy are going to discuss their careers and how wave pools have had an effect on their careers and their YouTube following. And that'll be moderated by Wave Pool Magazine's Brian Dickerson. And Catch Surf is giving away a new board at the end of that talk. That'll be Saturday at 4 p.m. That's when that talk begins, Saturday at 4 p.m. And immediately following that, they'll give away a Catch surfboard. And then right following that, Saturday at 5 p.m., Brad Gerlach is going to do a talk on surf coaching and the wave key techniques to improve your surfing. So those two new boardroom talks on the schedule, Saturday at 4, Saturday at 5, should be
Well,
really interesting.
well, look, those are related to two topics I have in my show notes today, so that's perfect.
Oh, great. Let's discuss.
Well, let's start with the Gerlach one then. DM came in the last couple of days from a longtime listener, and he said, I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on surf coaching or getting a surf coach as a 43-year-old average surfer, average middle of the road surfer. So hiring a surf coach who films and reviews your footage, who gives you technique, not a Val, not a COVID surfer, a lifelong surfer who just has other priorities and is stuck in average mode. So I won't get a clip of the day, but I also don't suck. Um, I also thought it'd be a good one to ask Bassie how he feels about getting a coach as you get older. Has he done it? Would you do it? Why? Why not? I bet a lot of listeners would are thinking about it. So it's relevant topic that will have ears. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are you should absolutely get a coach. There's no doubt that you should, and I'll give you my insight. My insight is that um, I'm however old I am, 60 years old, and I have another passion. I have two other passions. One is foiling, and one is golfing. And I have coaches for
Do
those two
you?
things because I'm a kook. I'm a kook foiler and I'm a kook golfer, and I want to get better. Me personally with surfing, I'm kind of am where I am. I'm not, that's just me. But my point is that if you have a desire to get better, you should reach out to resources that are available to you. And surf coaching is one of those things. Absolutely. And I mean, frankly, I would say get a hold of Brad. That guy's got an incredible style, an incredible career, an incredible history. He's one of the guys when I think about surf style that I would like to emulate. Brad Gerlach is one of those guys. I think of Brad. He's got a gorgeous bottom turn. I think of Rob Machado, right? We think of the guys we always mention, Rasta. But anyway, definitely get surf coaching in your mid 40s. Don't hesitate. I think it's really good. One of the other things I might suggest, and you should talk to Brad about this, is I've always said that skateboarding down a hill is the best way to sort of emulate your style, like to get your style dialed in. And Brad, at one point, he and his father had these carved skateboards that had trucks on them that allowed you to kind of bury your rail, if you will, while you're skating down the hill. And so that's something that you might consider as well.
I think he's bringing them back, or I don't know if they're back yet, but that's kind of part of his ambition
Oh,
moving
I didn't
forward
know
is to
that.
bring back the carve.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you said, and I think Gerlach's the guy too. Like
By the way, Wave Key is gonna have a booth at the show as well. So you don't have, if you can't make it to the Saturday 5 o'clock, just come one of the days and talk to Brad. He's going to be talking about Wave Key. And so anyway, I interrupted.
I agree with you. Like his approach and his understanding and his way of communication, I find to be the most comprehensive and also like distilled down to the essentials with no fluff around it. And it's like, here are the basics. Stick to these basics, and they apply whether you are a brand new surfer or Jack Robinson. They
Yeah.
just do. And they do these things, and it applies in a bottom turn or an aerial, you know? So I've never seen anybody distill it that precisely. So I'm a big fan. But furthermore, in a more kind of philosophical answering to the question, it's easy to become complacent in your 40s, or it's a reflection of life gets busy and obligations get responsibilities get weighty and all that, so you stop investing in your own growth. You're like, I'm just trying to juggle everything and keep it all up in the air. I need to like relax otherwise. And so I notice people atrophy at a certain point, and then they put things off maybe till retirement. I'll learn it in retirement, but but your 40s, I think it's a ripe opportunity. I think you should always be invested in your own growing in knowledge, growing in whatever, learning new things. And part of why you age is because you're not learning new things. So I think if you're passionate about surfing, then that'd be the perfect thing to actually reinvest in and try to learn how to get better at. No need to atrophy in your surfing.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Brad's the thing about Brad is that, like when you go to a coach, like if I go to a golf coach, I want a guy that's a really good golfer to be teaching me what's going on. And Brad's a, next level professional surfer. He's one of the best, and he's still doing it. He walks the walk. So it's good stuff.
Completely, yeah.
I have a Who Said That if you want, where we,
I'm on a winning streak right now.
oh, go. Oh, were you,
I got
did you?
one right.
Oh, yeah. Okay, who said that? This is the part of the show where I try to stump David with a quote from a famous surfer. And I quote David, I want to do something at sunset that no one's ever done. I want to get radical at sunset. I've seen Aki get radical, Carol get radical, Potter and Curran, but I want to get really radical. I want to go beyond imagination. Who said that, David? Was it A, Joey Baran, B, Richard Cram, C, Richie Collins, or D, Derek Ho?
Sounds like a Richie Collins thing.
You're correct. It is Richie Collins. That was kind of easy.
Two in a row.
I'm bringing up Richie because, he's one of the shapers and the icons of foam honoring Eric Arakawa at this boardroom. So Richie will be there, and he's competitive, and he's in it to win it. So he's going to bring a lot of spice, I think, to the show. So I'm kind of excited about it.
I got to be honest, I did not really know he was a shaper until I was prepping for my interview with him a year ago.
Yeah, he was shaping his own boards on tour back in.
I know.
I think he might have been like the last guy to shape his own boards on tour.
Yeah.
Who else could we think of? Like, because that was probably 89 or 90 or something like that.
He might have been the last one.
I think that's an interesting thought. That just came to me, by the way. I hadn't really thought about who was the last guy to shape his own boards.
Your memory isn't all that it used to be, because we've had this exact conversation in the past.
Oh,
it's
really?
not the first time you've
No, I know we
it.
have, but did we bring up Richie? I know we've talked about that, but we might have said it was MR or something like that.
Maybe so. You're right. I just remember when I had the conversation with Richie, or when I was researching it, he was saying he's the only guy on tour doing it. And I can almost certainly say nobody after him other than longboard shapers.
Yeah.
Kai Solis has won titles riding his own boards, that sort of thing. But on the shortboard side, he was identifying like, yeah, I'm the only guy who does this. And of course, that was what people did prior. So yeah, you might be right.
He was making his own longboards too. Like Richie was on the longboard tour after his shortboard stint.
Yeah, fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad to be able to hang with him there too.
Yeah, for sure.
What was the other thing I said that, so your other boardroom top, Blair Conklin and Ben Gravy. Um, I watched both of their videos from their recent excursion out to Arizona at that private home that has a two
Yeah.
dudes just built a wave pool in their backyard basically.
Yeah.
So we can actually do a deeper dive in that, but I did want to just state that Ben Gravy's videos are incredible production quality now. I had not watched one of his videos in a while. I
Yeah.
clicked play on it and it was cinematic. It was like there was a storyline, he scored the thing. He got a professional to score the film. The shots were incredible. It was like scripted. It was like a scripted short film, basically, for him to
Yeah.
serve that. So I was really impressed by how far he's come as a filmmaker.
Well, I'm going to pull it up right now and check it out. Oh,
Um,
sorry.
well, do you want to do a little conversation on private home with a backyard wave pool? Um, do you?
Say that again.
Do you want to have a little conversation about that private home with a backyard wave pool?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up, but I was struggling. Yeah, please,
Um,
let's discuss.
so the wave source is the company that's putting this out. But basically, a video dropped a few weeks ago about this guy in Arizona who built a wave pool in his backyard and kind of made a splash on YouTube and in the surf world. And then this past week, they're revealing that the property is for sale. So that is a secondary story. It's a $15 million ask. It's a 40-acre surf ranch, is what they're calling it, but basically a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. It's 2 parcels merged into one with zoning to build 3 more homes. 40 acres, fully fenced, 1 casita in addition to the house with a full bathroom. Newly innovative wave pool built by The Wave Source is the name of the company. The pool was recently built as a proof of concept, which is now available for sale, including the property that it's on. The wave pool is much more efficient than typical wave machines and much cheaper to produce one wave. Purchase includes 1 year of maintenance and 24 hours of tech support on the software. Additionally, on the property, there's horse corrals, a barn, um, a tack room, whatever that is, hay storage, dog kennels, chicken coops, shorts. It's a full farm basically on 40 acres, but the wave pool is what relates to you and I. So,
Dude, I'm watching it right now, and it's pretty amazing, I gotta say.
yeah,
The whole concept, like, and you're right, the quality of the video, the editing's insane. It's pretty funny, but the
and he's
wave,
acting in it too. He's like an actual actor now. But so did you see the video of the wave itself and like kind of
yeah,
assess the quality? Yeah. So these guys basically dug a hole, a trench, laid down a tarp and built a wall along one side of the trench and then created a certain type of energy to push the water. Once they filled the trench with water, create an energy source that pushes the water that then refracts off the wall. The wall looks like it's no more than 100 yards. So you get a ride that's maybe 80 yards long, 10 feet away from the wall. It's a right going straight into the wall. And it's a waist high wave. So it's not nearly as good as a lot of these other wave pool techs that we see, but somebody built it in their backyard.
yeah, it's pretty amazing. And I guess it's proof of concept for the Wave Source company. Do you think that's the case, or is the Wave Source a real estate company?
No, it's a proof of concept for these 2 guys who just figured
Yeah.
it out in their backyard. They got
Really?
perm.
They just figured it out? Are they engineers? Like, is this their full-time gig, or there's like, oh, let's just make our own?
I don't know the background on the guys, but obviously they're probably utilizing information that was out there about other wave pools and how they operate and figuring out their own solution. It took 2 years to get permitting, but they built theirs in 2 months once they got the permitting. So it was a quick build.
It's a pretty fun looking wave, I gotta say.
I
It
mean,
does end pretty quick though.
it's a short look. It looks fun, quote unquote. When it's not like the equivalent of one of the other wave pools where you would spend money to go travel out there and surf that style of wave. If you had it in your backyard, you would have a blast on it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the quality of the wave itself. But I think ultimately my takeaways from this are um, it is major reduction in cost. When we've seen these other wave pools built, it's tens of millions of dollars. And of course, it's because they're commercial projects and they're going to have customers purchasing to use the thing. So there's liabilities and permitting that all comes with that. But it is a major reduction in cost. And it's also a major reduction in energy usage. So this now opens up this concept of I can do it in my backyard. This guy did it in his backyard. So, and like I said, I don't know their backgrounds, but what if you were a high level engineer, and you had the know how to actually do something like this? There is the idea that if this guy did it, now I could do it. How could I do it better? And if you have access to those things, the resources, then the world's your oyster, kind of.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's really fascinating. And and you're right, Um, if it's just building it for yourself in your backyard, I just feel like this is almost proof of, like what you've mentioned, it's obviously proof of concept, but I almost feel like, hey, yeah, we can do this twice as long. We just did this one to show you that it's doable, you
These
know?
guys have the space to do it too. This is a 40-acre property.
Yeah, that's what you would need. You would definitely need a lot of room.
But
Uh,
again, with the larger imprint, now it's more energy, it's more water. There's all the
right.
additional expense that comes with maintenance. So those are all considerations if you're just doing it for your own recreation, and you're not
Yeah.
going to be seeing a return on that investment. But
Yeah.
I did notice in their branding or their marketing for the sale that you could host private events here to try to recoup some of that and create a little bit of a revenue model. So and from what I understand, now that I've seen this, I've started getting DMs from people that this isn't the only one that exists. There
Really?
apparently somebody in Connecticut has one in their backyard as well, some super wealthy person. Um, so
I know, I'm
yeah,
sure people aren't just people are like, I'm not telling you. It's kind of like when there was pools for skating in people's backyards and you'd roam around and try to find an empty pool. Like you could just, but you, I guess you couldn't really turn this on without somebody knowing.
yeah.
A midnight run.
But look, if you were a billionaire, why wouldn't you build one of these in your backyard?
Yeah. And I mean, it looks pretty damn fun. And frankly, Ben's making it look fun, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, exactly. In other wave pool news, there's another update. The kind of late investor in the Palm Springs pool just purchased a big property, a big plot of land at El Segundo, $54 million land purchase with plans to bring a wave pool to Los Angeles.
Which Palm Springs wave pool are you talking about?
The one Palm Springs Surf Club, the
Okay,
one
the one
that's
Shane
open,
Magnuson's involved in.
not any longer. Shane got out a few months
Oh,
ago.
did he? Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
that one.
But they late in the project, kind of post COVID, after they had built a lot and again gotten delayed a lot, this guy Vinny Smith came in and plunged tens of millions of dollars into the project to get it to its final stage and open. His name is Vinny Smith. He's, I think, Newport Beach kind of financier.
Hmm.
So he's the guy behind this purchase in El Segundo. And the quote from a commercial real estate tracker in the area said, you have so much coastline, so much density of population and popularity of the sport. And at the same time, you have issues with parking, so many people in the water and contamination levels at the main spots, rain runoff and sewage in the breaks. So this opens up a huge opportunity for a wave pool
Wow.
company.
Interesting. All right. Well, look, they're on the rise. They're being, I mean, I guess the one in Virginia Beach, you've been to that one, haven't you?
I was there right before they opened it, but I got to see it. I got to tour it.
And I mean, the wave pool mojo's kind of through the roof. I've never been to one that I wasn't super stoked to be at, regardless of how crappy it is. I mean, I've been to some pretty crappy ones. Probably the crappiest one is in Orlando at Disney World, but that one's even fun. That one's super fun. I mean, it's a shitty little wave, but just the idea of getting in and catching a wave, it's really interesting, like it doesn't take much to get us stoked.
Well, the other detail here that I thought was interesting is that Vinny Smith has already had one pool open, and it's an indicator to me, him making this purchase, it's an indicator that that first one, he's happy with that investment.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? He's probably the type of guy that wouldn't be doing stupid stuff with his money. He's probably like, this is actually working.
Well, he's mid 60s and in finance professionally.
Right.
And
That's what I mean.
so he definitely isn't stupid. But you know, we've seen a lot of other pools that are still in the phase of trying to determine whether or not it's a profitable and smart smart investment. And the fact that he's doubling down here indicates that he's very happy with the way the Palm Springs one has turned out.
Well, I didn't watch any of the East thing that occurred in
I
Palm
didn't either.
Springs,
Yeah.
but I did see one or two little clips on YouTube on Instagram, and it looked like they had a good time there, and everyone seemed pretty stoked about it. But I wish I had a rundown. I've just been a little bit busy with some other stuff, but
I don't know that
yeah,
there's a ton to discuss. Looks like a good party for if you were there, but I don't think there
yeah,
was much of an internet
no,
viewing party or anything like that.
yeah,
Although we could discuss very quickly it's a couple weeks late now, but they did wrap up their Surf 100 project that
yes.
took place over the course of 100 days, and they did it as a YouTube kind of series, trying to kind of create a reality show for YouTube based on surfing and rolling out episodes every other week. And I was tracking that, and then they did a final 100-minute final with four surfers. The two finalists from the series, which were Aton Osborne and Sebastian Williams, and then they brought in two professionals to compete against them. One was Julian Wilson, the other was Bobby Martinez. They did it at an undisclosed beach break in Central California that was about head high and like thumping shallow beach break tubes. Um, Aton Osborne won the event and the $100,000 prize purse that came with it. It was kind of interesting. I actually watched the event over a couple of days. It was nice. So I knew who the winner was. Unfortunately, I was late to the party to view it, but I saw that Aton won the event, but I still wanted to at least watch the 100-minute final just to see how it all played out. And one thing that I think you could laugh at and appreciate is that Bobby Martinez was invited. He showed up. He barely participated. He showed up, watched it for literally 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes of the 100-minute final, and would not put a jersey on. They're like, "So are you going to paddle out?" He's like, "I don't know. It looks kind of junky." They're like, "It's $100,000. All you got to do is get two waves, the best right and the best left, and you can win $100,000." He's like, "Those jerseys are lame. I'm not putting on a jersey. Like, why'd you pick such bright ones?" They're like, "We'll let you wear the black one if you want." He's like, "No, it's still stupid. I'm not putting on a jersey." So they're like, "Fine, as long as you paddle out, Bobby, please." So he paddles out way down the beach outside the contest zone. So the three other competitors are surfing the right, which is the sick wave. He was way down the beach surfing the left by himself.
How did he do?
They scored him. He actually surfed insanely. Like that's the
Yeah,
thing is it was not he was getting barreled on that left, but it was like it wasn't as like hollow of a left. It wasn't
yeah,
dredged out like doubling up like the right was,
yeah.
but he was doing his thing. The moment he gets to his feet, he's just freaking looks so locked in and good. And then he finds and threads this crumbly little barrel and does a sick end turn. You're like, Bobby's Bobby's at the top of his game. He's on his own program, but he's at the top of that program for sure.
That's amazing. That's funny that he's,
But
I don't understand it though. It's kind of like if you're going to show up, you know, like it's almost like he showed up to make a statement rather than show up to win the 100 grand.
he definitely didn't care about the 100 grand,
Yeah.
which is kind of incredible.
Yeah. Maybe, you know what? More power to him.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not sure I could do that. I'd be like, let's go.
you
I'm
gotta
winning. I'm going to win.
you got to admire it, you
Yeah.
know? And the other thing that he wouldn't do was put a microphone on. They were all mic'd up so you could hear him talking in the water and stuff, and he's like, F that. And to Stab's credit, they let him do his own thing. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't like they said you have to play by our rules.
Yeah.
So I like them letting Bobby be Bobby. But I mean,
Yeah.
look, he sat out for more than half the heat. If he would have paddled out in the second half of the heat down the beach at his own spot and got the two best waves and won the 100K, it would have been hilarious.
I heard there was some other drama too. I saw on Stab or Stab sent me something. Was there some other drama? Like, did the people that watched the show live have a vote? And was there some voting drama or was that just made up
I don't
clickbait?
think it was made up exactly. Yes, the people watching live do get a vote to determine the winner, and it's weighed, I think, against the internal House vote. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, I don't want to misspeak. I think that's the way they did it. But the controversy was between Aton Osborne's best wave versus Sebastian Williams. in my mind, Sebastian Williams got actually the better right and the better left. So I think Sebastian surfed a better heat, but Aton won. So it's kind of uh, Sebastian's wave was bigger and longer, his barrel that he got, and Aton's was more doubled up and throaty and shorter and not as big. So it's kind of,
Yeah.
it's subjective, up for debate. But I thought Sebastian's left was sick, and that kind of got underscored too. So I think Sebastian probably should have won in my mind, but whatever. I didn't hear him complaining.
Yeah. Well, look,
Oh, and I think
Aton
Kelly,
Osborne's a pretty incredible surfer. I mean, they're all incredible surfers. That, it's like those guys are pros in my mind. Aton and Sebastian, those are pro surfers.
100%. And
Yeah.
Sebastian, I think Kelly Slater also chimed in and said he thought Sebastian Williams won the heat.
Oh,
And
that's not
and
good.
I also would argue, not that it matters, but I would also
Yeah.
argue Sebastian Williams won the series. Sebastian
Mm.
got the most gnarly clips throughout the season, and then I thought also won the final. So I would have.
But it's winner take all.
It
So
is winner
Sebastian
take
got
all.
nothing, huh?
Sebastian got nothing other than
He
the
got some pub.
publicity. Yeah,
Yeah.
the publicity that comes with it. So
Uh,
good
all right.
series. Congrats on Stab.
You know what I'm on right now?
What? ag1.com/surf.
Yeah, that. Actually need to go get some of that. But I'm on Levi Slawson watch.
Yeah, you are.
And we've got these challenger events coming up. They're lining up down the line here this fall. And I'm all about Levi Slawson making the CT, and I'm not putting any undue pressure on him. I don't even think he probably listens to this or anything, but I'm all about Levi qualifying, man. And I know my hometown here in Encinitas, everybody's fired up. And so let's make note of that
Okay.
Levi Slawson, remember how that one year there was a year where like we were behind certain people. And I know like when the CT had there was that one year where we were kind of behind what's his name, the Brazilian guy.
Joao.
Yeah. Not Joao, no, Caio Abelli. Remember we were like
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah.
were you had a whole program. Like you were sending him stickers to put on his board because he was unsponsored.
Yep.
And there's been other guys that we've been like, I'm on this guy's watch. I think Carlos Munoz at one point,
Yep.
maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead and rattle down the names of losers. Our picker's pretty bad, so I don't know if you want to subject Levi to our poor picking.
Levi is our freaking US Open champion, and you and I have both seen Levi surf. This guy, the thing that I love about Levi is that he's got what it takes between his ears. He's he's kind of a blue collar guy, and he comes from a great family. And so anyway, I'm on Levi Slawson. I remember when Levi was in the Swami Surfing Association club, the Swami Surfing Club, and we would go to Malibu and surf. And Levi was probably 6 or 7 years old, and he was surfing longboard heats in for the club. And he was just this miniature little Grom. You had no idea at the time. You just thought, oh, this kid's just going to be like a longboard hipster kid, or whatever. And he turns out he moved from Cardiff Reef down to Seaside Reef and just became the star that he is. So I'm
I
stoked for him.
I support all of this. I want to make an additional addendum note, and that is,
Here we go.
well, that is just whatever the alchemy is to go from him to winning events on the CT level is so blurry to me and unknown, because we've seen a million world-class talent, not a million. We've seen 100 world-class talents not be able to figure out the alchemy, not be able to do the equation. And I am afraid that it diminishes their own self-worth and belief in self. So when you look at somebody like Asher Pacey, Victor Bernardo, guys who just kind of went down a different path, Mike February now, he did try the CT for a bit, where they just fully settle into their own talent and their own personality and their own style, they're thriving and they seem to be happy and they seem to be like very actualized as surfers living their best life. But to see somebody be go through the wood chipper of the CS series and even the CT and just not be able to figure it out. And you're going, that guy's like one of the best surfers in the world. They just cannot, they lose round one. That happened to Aton Osborne when he first got on tour. And thankfully he came back and he's figured it out. But when Aton first went on tour, I was like, how is this guy losing heats? And unfortunately, sponsors don't have the long-term plan that they used to. So they would stick with you through the process. Unfortunately, now they're like, we'll give you 50 grand to try to figure it out for a year. And if you can't, and you'll end up spending 80, but if you can't figure it out, you're getting cut, you know? And so then they're 22 years old back in their hometown trying to figure it out, where the other path is just go surf great waves and create a following of fans that will support you no matter what. So I'm not saying Levi's making the wrong pick. I hope that he does figure it out. It's just that the system, the financial or economic system set up to support CT surfers is not robust enough to support the amount of surfers that try to do it.
You know what? Let's take a quick break, and I'm going to pick up where you just stopped there. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We were discussing the challenges of the Challenger Series and its effect on surfers, and I told you I was on Levi Slawson watch because I want to see Levi make the CT this year. And the Challenger Series is happening right now in Portugal. In fact, it's live, according to the WSL. Then they quickly go to Brazil for another Challenger Series. Then it looks like the next Challenger Series is in November, and it takes place maybe these are just QSs. I'm trying to find the next challenge. The next challenger might be at Pipe. Let me see in December. Pipe Pro. These are all qualifying events, so they're just not as many points. There's only 2 challenger events. No, there's one at Pipe, so there's 3. But I'm sure that those guys will surf in those qualifying series events. Like there's one that's a 6,000. There's one that's a 2,000. So anyway, point is, right now there's a Challenger Series, which is worth a lot of points, right?
Yeah.
And there's this Chicama Pro that's immediately following that in Brazil. They go from Portugal to Brazil. That's a Challenger Series. Then there's these 2,006. The next one, there's a big one in the Philippines, which is a 6,000 qualifying series. I'm not sure how it works, if those points go towards your qualification in the Challenger Series. I really don't know. Do you know?
No, but I do know there's 5 Challenger Series events because I just looked them up.
Right, but there's only 3 left, right?
No, there's 1 left, as far as I can tell.
No, there's the 2 I mentioned. There's the one running now, the one in Brazil, and then there's the Challenger Series in January.
Oh, it's in January.
The Lexus Pipe Challenger.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's 3 left, and then they take the top 10 and put them on the tour.
Gotcha. So where does Levi rank right now?
This is what I'm going to look up. This is a great question. I believe he's 6th. He's 5th.
Okay. No, he's 4th. In live rankings, maybe based on this event that he's currently in, he's ranking 4th. He moved up 44 spots.
I got him at 5th, and he's down a spot.
Okay. Well, any rate, good on you. Jacob Wilcox, Mateus Hurdy, Luke Thompson, Levi Slawson, Oscar Berry, Dimitri Poulos, George Pitar, Matt McGillivray, Michael Rodriguez, and Liam O'Brien is the top 10 as I show it.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't show it that way. Have you refreshed?
Yeah, I'm on the app right now.
I'm not on the app. I'm on the website.
I'm on the app and it's giving live rankings, it says. But whatevs.
Mine says Kalu Vass is trying to qualify. He's in 10th, according to mine.
Cool.
You don't care. You do not care at all.
You're I'm just saying we can't figure it out. And well, this is on the WSL. Then, if their app is giving different information than their website, then this one's on them. It's showing Kayuli Vast as 12th for me and Hiroto Ohara as 11th.
Yeah, something's off. I think the app would be probably more up to date, but
I don't know. But the other detail I will say is, I was saying free surfer versus pro surf or competitive surfer. The reality is you can do both. So my only advice to the non-listening Levi Slawson is don't keep all your eggs in that basket, or don't let it undermine your surfing. If you lose a
Yeah.
heat, it doesn't mean you're not the better surfer in that heat even. So head up, chin up, focus on building that profile, give your sponsors value, carry on.
Yeah. He's a great surfer, regardless of how. I mean, but that's the thing, these guys you mentioned that kind of grinded and didn't make it. Um, there's a lot of great surfers. That's kind of why, that's really the only reason why surfing competition matters, because we all know physically they're incredible surfers, but it's who's got the mental game. And that to me is what makes competition so great.
So when I was interviewing Nathan Hedge, one of the guys that he's coaching is Morgan Siblick. Remember his rookie year, he finished top 5.
Yeah.
And
The
his surf,
COVID year.
yeah, exactly. And his surfing was lightning. Like it was lights out, incredible. We were all impressed.
Yeah.
Came back the next year, fell off
S-
tour.
Stiff.
And I was like, what happened? What's going on with him? Because his surfing is there. And, Nathan Hedge said it's just between his ears, it's consistency, or he loses and he gets in his own head about it. And that's the thing that I keep trying to reiterate is self-belief, regardless of the losses. Like those judges don't know surfing better than you know it. Like they're
Get
not
mad
better.
at the judges.
They're not better surfers than you.
Yeah.
There's just something else going on or to be perfectly honest, there's a very major limitation with judging surfing, full
Yeah.
stop. And
Yeah.
so you do you on your own terms. Now, let's take an extreme example of this. I watched Tony Roberts, Real Surf Stories on Instagram, does these really great historic pieces, goes and unpacks some little piece of history. And he did a video about Gary Elkerton about a month ago. Dude, that guy took the hardest losses straight on the chin. And unfortunately, after 3 world title mishaps, you know, it probably took its toll and then he chose to retire, but he got back up every time after a world title loss. I'll give you the 3 examples. The first one was there was 3 world titles that he probably should have won, basically. And the chips fell against him, basically due to insufficient rules outlined by the ASP at the time. So the first loss was against Damian Hardman. It was either him or Damian that were going to win the world title that year. So it must have been 88, I guess, I think.
Yeah.
And it was a priority interference situation where if one surfer was on a wave, the entire line of that wave was theirs. Even if they were going left down the beach, you weren't allowed to go right 100 yards away from them, the opposite direction.
Yeah.
That was deemed an interference.
Yeah.
And so sure enough, I don't think that Gary took off on the wave. I think the way that it worked out was Gary needed a 3 and that wave came to him, and Damien had priority way down the beach and went left on that wave. And so Gary's like, I could catch this wave and get a 6, but I'm not allowed to surf this because he's on it down the beach. So he had to let the wave go. Did not get the 3-point ride that he needed, lost, and then lost the world title. The next time was he was at Pipe, and it came down to Pipeline. He had been battling out with Derek Ho, I think, all season long. And he had Derek in the heat and Michael in the heat, Derek's brother, and a third Hawaiian in the heat. And they basically blocked him the entire time. Earlier in that event, Michael pulled his leg rope. Gary was on a wave at backdoor, ate crap, hit his elbow on the reef because of the leg rope pull, split his elbow open, needed 27 stitches.
Who pulled his rope? Michael Ho.
Michael Ho. Michael did.
This is straight out of North Shore, the movie.
It is, totally. So Michael did that. Gary suffered the injury as a result. Gary continued to surf throughout the event, ended up in I don't know if it was the final or not, but ended up in a heat against Michael and Derek, where they both just basically blocked him and starved him for waves the whole time. And there's video footage. You can watch it happening. Then Gary needed a wave. He was at Pipe. He was on the left at Pipe. Michael fully drops in on him and grabs him, holds him, bear hold.
What?
Michael acted like he was going to go right. It was clearly a left. The right was a
And there's
closeout.
footage of this all happening while Tony's
Yes.
telling the story.
Yes. So Gary needs this left. He takes off. Mike drops in on him and holds him, like bear hug holds him so he can't go left.
Right.
So that Derek would win the heat.
Yeah.
So Derek and Michael basically Michael sacrificed himself. Michael lost the heat because of course he interfered with Gary's waves, but it didn't matter because it was for Derek to win the title.
Yeah.
So this is what was happening to Gary Elkerton. He should have won
Wow.
the first title. 3 different scenarios where he was positioned to win a world title and something went against him. Whether it was a rule or in this case, the Hawaiians and the brothers plotting against him. And then you get back up and show up next year and try to do it again. You know what I mean? So the point is all to say, your surfing can be world class, and Gary's was. At that time, Gary was one of the most
By the
feared.
way, did we mention Gary in our list?
No, we did not. Of the best surfers to have never won a
Or
world
was
title.
was this story what the catalyst for us trying to, because I
He
feel
was,
like
he was not mentioned.
Gary's number one.
Gary was not mentioned.
I think we moved Gary to number one of the best surfers that never won a world title. Don't you?
It's up for discussion.
Based on what I'm hearing here?
He was the most feared competitor for those years. Whether
For
it was
sure.
big sunset, big pipes, small. He's a big dude, but he was winning events in Japan. He was winning events in Brazil, like
He's a
small waves
beast.
too. Yeah,
Competitive beast.
yeah.
How did we not think about Gary calling Elkerton in our discussion? I can't believe we missed it.
I don't know. I'm not the most, despite
Yeah.
talking about surfing all the time, I'm not the most knowledgeable.
Well, that's kind of this is more my era than your era.
Yeah.
Wow.
So chin up. Competitive surfing is fraught with pitfalls that are outside of your control. You know what I mean? And so Levi Slawsons of the world, go for it. If that's your passion, absolutely go for it. But chin up, and it's not the end all be all.
Well, tip the cap to Tony Roberts. Does he have commentary from Michael or Derek about what went down, or it just shows the video and he's like, here it is. Here it is.
It shows video, and it has commentary from Gary that he did in previous interviews that Tony pulls and stitches together to get the narrative.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds interesting. I want to check that out.
It's only like a 6-minute vid. It's quick.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I actually pulled up Tony's YouTube. You guys, listeners, Tony's got some really good stuff on here. And it's Real Surf Stories YouTube channel. Become a subscriber.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Cool.
Do you have something else?
Well, real quick before we go, because we sort of missed this last time this happened, but there's some incredible hurricane surf happening on the East Coast right now as we speak. Yesterday in Florida, I think even like down by Miami Beach had moments. Wow. And up and down the eastern seaboard as Hurricane Humberto and I think Imelda.
Imelda, that's right. Yeah.
Are just storming up the coast. And then of course here in San Diego or in Southern California, we just had Hurricane Narda come through. And we had a great run of, 2 or 3 days. Even today, there's still some leftover stuff of and the wedge was massive. I mean, all those like really steeply angled south swell locations, it was pumping. And I mean, even crappy mid-county San Diego had pumping swell, not as big. But so the hurricane tropical swell action on both coasts here in North America has been pretty incredible. And there's another one forming down in Mexico. And I mean, we're going to see footage, these are those swells where like up in Rhode Island and Nova Scotia and Massachusetts, all those spots start to light up. So, a lot of guys getting a lot of surf on both coasts.
Epic. I wanted to get your take post-mortem on the Surfer Magazine forums closing.
Oh yeah. I randomly went on there to selfishly plug the Boardroom show and tell everyone about the free wetsuit repair that's occurring. Patagonia is doing free wetsuit repair. So bring your wetsuit, any brand, and get it repaired for free by the mobile Patagonia wetsuit repair crew. Anyway, I went on there and it's just like, we're sorry. It was just the day that it happened. It was September 29th. We're sorry to inform you that this is the surfer forums are closed forever. There's never any more surfer forums. And I was like, because I was the online editorial director at Surfer Magazine for a long time. And I sort of monitored and had to deal with those forums, so to speak, and they're closed. And it was for the few people that were into it. And at one point, probably around 2002, 2003, it was heavily trafficked because it was either that or Reddit. Like most people went to one of those two things to discuss surfing online. You
Sway
know,
locks.
sway locks, yeah, right when broadband sort of was ubiquitous. And so anyway, it was kind of a big deal. I'm sure it lost a lot of its mojo as, Instagram and different forms of discourse took over, but it's no longer. That's the point. It's no longer. And I think I sent you a text that said "end of an error," ERROR, which is kind of what it was. On some level, it was just a crazy mishmash of attitudes, and surfers are the worst, and an occasional some good insight from some people. But it was definitely a community. I mean, they rallied around each other, so it's no longer. I mean, people lived and died. Like people died, and people became friends and went to funerals, and like there was a true kinship and friendship and fellowship that grew up around the Surfer Magazine forums. And
Are you sad to see it go?
I mean, I kind of am. It was kind of fun. I would check in maybe 2 or 3 times a year, just kind of. I wouldn't say anything. I would just scour it to see who was still lurking, and same guys were still lurking, and so it's sad for those guys. I'm sure they'll pop up somewhere else. Maybe they'll create something of their own, but yeah,
Unfortunately, they won't. Like if the reason I never used it was because I didn't feel comfortable with the user interface. That
Yeah.
old school message board thing just wasn't my thing. And if that was your thing, that you're definitely not transitioning to TikTok at this point. You know what I mean? Like, like that was their thing. And there's
Yeah.
no way they do some modern version of it. The other reason that I think they won't is it was a bastion of free speech, free discussion. Like there weren't really parameters. They within that group probably had their own etiquette, and they would isolate you if you came in and said something insane, you know? But I think that it was in that there wasn't a moderator, really. You could just go in there and do your own thing and kind of have your own conversation about the things you wanted to. And that
Yeah.
doesn't happen in a lot of other spaces.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it
and
was pretty crazy.
and unfortunately, Beach Grit reported on this story before they closed it because
Oh, really?
Surfer announced that they were going to close it.
Oh,
And the culprit, as they reported, which I don't know if it's accurate or not, was some non-surfer went on there on a Charlie Kirk rant, like an
uh,
anti Charlie Kirk after he got killed, went on there and just started like ranting about good thing that Charlie Kirk got killed because he was,
uh,
spouting X, Y, and Z.
uh,
And I think the magazine and of course its corporate overlords were just like, there's controversy happening over here in this weird portion of your website. What's going on? And then they had to explain what's going on. Oh, there's no moderator. Why is there no moderator? And like, we need to shut it down. What is the revenue attached to that portion of the website? Oh, nothing. So it's
yeah.
only liability
It's only
and no
causing a
revenue.
problem. Yeah.
I think we need to shut her down.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably an accurate reflection of what happened there. It's sadly,
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
But end of an era. End of an
end of an
error.
error.
I thought that I wasn't sure if you were making a joke when you sent that text, and I'm like, it's a solid joke, but it also could be a
You
misspelling.
never know with me, David. I could have
You
been a
don't ever
misspelling.
know. I've got a couple more things to go through real quick if you got a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Of course, the Surfrider Foundation needs more friends. Become a member at surfrider.org. They do incredible work, and they're kind of a lot of the good work that they've done in terms of legislation passing and banning of certain things is all being undermined now in the last 8 months or whatever it's been. And so they honestly need more support now than ever. So if you're a surfer, if you benefit from the ocean, help keep the ocean thriving.
Yeah,
Surfrider.org.
for sure.
The other thing is Sid Abruzzi's documentary Water Brother is now available for streaming on Apple and Amazon, and it is an absolute must watch. Sid is such an iconic figure and representative of, I think, so many. He's a totem for so many archetypes that exist in little small surf communities, but maybe the best version of those. So if you want to learn more about Sid, which you should, because he's an iconic figure and instrumental in so much of surf culture, go watch Water Brother.
Yeah, absolutely. Sid, I was just trying to figure out like a best way to sort of summarize who he is as a character, but I think to just watch the movie is the best option here because to me, he's like a little bit of Tony Alva with a little bit of Derek Hind, and like he's kind of a mixture of these different characters. And I'm not doing him justice. We should just watch the film.
Hosted the first X Games. Like he's instrumental at the kind of nexus of surfing and skating, based out of Rhode Island, which is a place
Yeah.
that you don't necessarily think about. But being at that nexus at the kind of early days of both of those things and the industry that then sprouted out of him, he was influential in helping seed the growth, influence the growth, and then has become not exactly a philanthropist, but what is the right word for the community? Like,
Um, yeah, he's a giver, so
yes, yes.
um, like
Go
a
learn more.
benefactor.
Absolutely a benefactor of the community. So, really fantastic human being. The package, Sid Abruzzi, go check it out. Water Brother is the film. And then my Duke of the Week actually goes to Wesleyy Dantes. I don't know if you saw, so Wiggly Dantes' younger brother, Wesleyy Dantes. I don't know if you saw this wipeout that happened during a surf contest and he saved the other
I
surfer.
did. Yes, I did see this. It was horrible.
Gnarly wipeout. We see a lot of gnarly wipeouts on Instagram. This one I saw as I scrolled. First thing, guy drops in on a massive triple overhead right, eats it in the worst possible way. And you're like, oh, another gnarly wipeout on Instagram. And then you see him not come up for a long time. And when he does come up, he's flailing for his life.
And he's
His
in a heat. He's in a surfing contest heat, like a CT event. I mean, a QS or a challenger event.
It's called the Tunnel Shootout, the Tunnel Cruise Shootout at this spot in Brazil that's just gnarly. And he's a 20-year-old Brazilian prospect named Gabriel Klausner. Really, really good surfer. Like he actually got a wild card, I think, into the CT event this last season in Brazil. So he's a very, very, competent surfer,
Yeah.
but has this gnarly wipeout. And he said it was so scary. I hit my ear super hard and I couldn't tell if it was up, what was up or down. He was underwater for a long time. And then when he finally came up, of course, he's disoriented and just grasping. And there's another set wave barreling down on him. So he just gets absolutely obliterated by that one. Unbelievably, his competitor in the heat, Wesleyy Dantes, realizes what's happening and then makes his way in to lift him out of the water. It's a crazy beach break that's super shallow, so you could actually stand where the impact zone is. So Wesleyy gets to him, wraps his arms around him, and just keeps him above water because Gabriel didn't have even the wherewithal to keep himself, above water and breathing. So Wesleyy does that. He was able to help get him to shore and prevent him from inevitably drowning. So Duke of the Week.
Yeah. Look, um, good work. It was a scary
Absolutely.
situation. I think I saw it on the Surfline Instagram, but yeah.
Crazy,
Hmm.
crazy footage, harrowing footage.
Yeah.
And then my must see moment, which is presented by Trees Wax, the only petroleum free high performance surf wax on the market, available at treeswax.com with promo code SPIT to save you 20%. My must see moment is a new video clip of Victor Bernardo. It's called Infinite Difference. It's a series that's being done, and it profiles Victor's incredible surfing, but interviews his surfboard shaper, Matt Parker from Album Surfboards. So you hear Matt talking about Victor's surfing and the boards that he's riding and more. And it's just it's like so beautifully shot, cinematic. Victor's surfing, I think, is still very underrated. You watch the clip and you go, he's among the best surfers right now on the planet, free surfers. And I know people like him and appreciate him. I think he's underrated still.
I um I was speaking with Brian Dickerson of Wavepool magazine the other day, and he was at the Stab thing in Palm Springs. And I go, "What'd you ride?" And he goes, "Oh, I rode one of the albums." And I forget the model, but he really liked it. Whatever, I'm sure they had a bunch of models there, but he said that the album was for whatever reason. He rode quite a few different boards, but he thought that the album was the best board that he rode.
Well, Matt Parker is such he's so smart and he understands board design and its interplay with how it performs in the water so well. And to hear him articulate about Victor Bernardo and what they're doing together, I just found to be really, really fascinating.
Yeah, Victor Bernardo. You know what? Must see moment.
Must see moment, infinite difference on YouTube. Incredible video.
Was that presented by Treeswax?
Treeswax.com, baby.
Yeah,
Promo
they'll be at
code
the Boardroom
SPIT.
Show. Yeah. By the way, you can get your Boardroom Show tickets now. Just go to the Boardroom Show and click on Buy Tickets. And we've got the virtual swag bag, which we're giving away 4 surfboards. You know, the catch board I mentioned, we got 3 of the Bluebird McTavish boards from last year's event that I've had glassed up that I'm giving away. So, you know, get your virtual swag bag. We were supposed to talk about swag or swag. I don't know. I've apparently I've made a mistake, but swag is kind of just rolls off the tongue more, but swag, either way, it's a coupon book filled with deals and freebies and goodies.
Last week when you mentioned the swag bag on air, I was like, I think that's the wrong pronunciation. It's a swag bag, not a swag bag. They're 2 words that mean very different things, but I did not call you out on air because I wasn't 100% certain. And I didn't want to be the dick who corrects you and then is wrong. But then I saw your email go out this morning. And I was like, ooh, I probably should have hit him up before the email went out with the misspelling. And I Googled it real quick and then sent you a screenshot of the Google's results. But to be clear, SWAG, WSAG, is an acronym for stuff we all get, which is the word that you should be using. Schwag is the spelling most often used to describe low-grade marijuana.
Well, there's no low-grade marijuana being given out. This is stuff we all get for sure, and it's swag. But it's a cool offering from us at the Boardroom Show for all the attendees, and it's an opportunity for you to get really good deals on stuff. $100 off boards, all that, you know, great deals at the show.
Sometimes words are so frequently misused that the wrong definition becomes the definition actually gets changed.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I'm going for here.
I mean, I think you might be right. I would bet that 99.9% of people wouldn't have identified the difference between those 2 words.
Yeah.
The one that grinds my gears the most is when people say, I could care less.
I know, that's the one.
That bothers you too?
Yeah. If you could care less, then please go ahead and care less.
That means that you actually
by all
care.
means, care less.
If you say I could care less, that means you do care, because there's somewhere below that you could stop caring. The other one that for modern kids these days that bothers me is they use the term bougie to mean expensive.
Yeah.
Have you heard this?
Yeah. Oh, it's super bougie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's bougie, which means, that's a fancy restaurant or something.
Yeah.
The word bourgeois is French and it means middle class.
Yeah.
So bougie is not an expensive thing. Bougie is middle class. And it was originally used by poor people saying, you know, I would like to elevate up to bougie, which is just middle class. But people are so dumb that they're like, oh, that just means leveling up. But what it indicates is that you're poor trying to level up to the middle, not that you're in the middle trying to elevate up to the rich. But now it's kind of transition meaning to where the vast majority of Americans anyways think that it means.
Well, I think that
fancy.
A lot of people, I think Marx referenced it a lot in his manifesto, the proletariat and the bourgeois class. And so I think,
which was the middle class.
Right. But that's where, because there's only 2 and everyone wanted to go to the higher one, it sort of started to lose its true definition.
But even he meant it to be middle class.
No, for sure.
So
because then there was the aristocratic class above that.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're dumb, and then you just think
super bougie.
Yeah, bougie just means going bigger. That means better. It's better if you're poor, not if you're middle class. Anyways, enough.
You know what you need to say is dear. That's incredibly dear.
I don't know what.
If it's dear, it's expensive. It's a bit dear.
I don't know that term.
Oh, you never heard English say that all the time?
No.
It's a bit dear for my taste.
Wow. Okay, I'll start incorporating it.
How was your steak, by the way? Your steak in Italy.
Phenomenal, dude. Like the crazy thing is, I posted that photo and you're like, oh, it's a bit rare for me. That's overcooked. by their standards, because we did order it. And if you watch Anthony Bourdain go into Tuscany or whatever, like it is raw. It's seared on
Yeah.
the outside and it's raw in the middle, like still
That's tough.
purple.
That's kind of hard for me.
No, but it's not. The thing is that meat, for whatever reason, you can eat it raw. The other meats you can't, but
Mm.
for that style of meat, you can.
Yeah.
And so I cooked it rare, but
It looked
rare is
rare.
overcooked.
Really, you overcooked it. What's
Overcooked
less than rare? Raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy mackerel.
But that steak is dear, so it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing.
I bet that's a bit
Yeah.
dear for me, my blood.
Well,
All
it's
right.
the dry aging. The dry aging costs time and money, man.
Right. For sure. Well, look, David, we said a lot. Lots been talked about, discussed. And until next time, adios and aloha.